Welcome to the Art of Conscious Living. Today I have a very special guest, an incredible artist, and a very beautiful woman who's lived an incredible life. Her life has been a life of seeking spirit, body, mind, and consciousness. And I'm so very pleased to have her in the studio today. Dana Delong Devi. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I like the title, The Art of Conscious Living. And I've loved meeting you, Victoria, in different facets of my life, in different arenas, times where I was playing or moved to heart-opening experiences through my music or through places that we've been together, like different places around the world, like Mount Shasta. And
well, let's start with your playing. Your playing is absolutely from a very heart-centered place. It's pure spirit. And it's absolutely beautiful music. How long have you been playing, and when did you decide to start to want to play all these incredible flutes?
Well, I started when I was 4.5 years old, and I started on piano, and that was not a conscious decision because my mother thought it was a good idea. And so I studied classical piano and studied in the Royal Conservatory of Toronto. I'm Canadian. And so that was my life's path. And when I realized that I would be traveling a lot, I decided to do something more creative. And so flutes came into my hand. And I remember the moment where I was trying out pottery and in Denver, Colorado, and I realized that my hands were too dry from the experience, so I was like, I have to give up. And I looked at this bulletin board saying, what next? What creative thing am I going to do now, Spirit? And I saw a little tiny note on the wall, and it said, flute lessons, no flute necessary. And that's what inspired me, was that little tiny note to start playing flutes. I had a lesson and really taught myself, and that was many, many years ago, at least 40 years. And it started my journey being able to travel with my instruments.
So how does the flute connect to your spirit today? Because when I listen to your music, it reaches me very deeply on a deep cellular level. And it seems to carry me away for a lot of inner peace and helps me to connect. And it's the vehicle of allowing me to be in total relaxation. So what is this coordination between you and the flute and your spirit and the energy of that?
For me, I'm very connected to breath because I teach a lot breath work for over 30 years. And so when I'm connecting my breath, I say I'm connecting with the winds of spirit, with the breath of God. I'm connecting with that energy with my own breath. So the two are meeting, and it's the flute. A great Sufi saint, Hazrat Inayat Khan, said that the flute is the most powerful instrument to open the heart. So, and on top of that, my flutes, by some grace, I suppose, through my many treks in India, my flutes have been activated by saints in India. So people seem to feel it's probably the combination of what flutes evoke, in all the chambers of the heart. And then I have found that the emptier I am, and an intention to help people to awaken all of that, and whatever I bring through teachings that I have, or having sat with powerful beings, that comes through when I play a note. So it can be just a single note.
So are you playing different other people's music? Is it original music, or is it just spontaneous and different sounds in the moment?
I do all different. I have, because I was trained since I was a child, I learned how to play by ear, so I can play with anybody else's music because I can hear what key they're in, and I have recorded a lot of my own music. I have a lot of different CDs. So I play with other people, and then I also have my own. For example, Flute Mantras is a CD that I have just redone, but it's recorded in all sacred places around the planet, including caves in India where saints materialize. So I literally recorded it in Chile, overlooking sacred mountains, and so it has the energy of all those places in it. So it's music that I hear inside me, that I'm bringing through my notes and through the feeling. And one of the things I found is that animals respond in nature, like dolphins jump. They can hear the frequency of the sounds, and they start responding. And they come out of the water, whales and dolphins, if I'm playing on the water on a boat. And so animals are like that. They're very in tune.
So you mentioned breath work. Let's speak on this. What you do and what kind of breath work is it?
Well, it's my own branding, let's say, but a clarity breath work. And I studied with many teachers around the world for many years. But it's specifically a more feminine style. It's not cathartic, and it's designed to not reactivate trauma, because most people are carrying traumatic experiences from very early pre and perinatal experiences, from conception, womb time, delivery, and onwards. So people carrying that, it's reverberating in their internal universe. And so when you breathe, the specific style is meant, as I said, not to be cathartic, but gentle. So it's a gentle, deep, powerful, healing modality that helps to release stress from the cells of the body, to reconnect you with spirit, with your essence, with your nature.
So a key word would be nurturing. What could be a nurturing breath?
Rejuvenating.
A rejuvenating breath, a healing breath.
Yeah. Forgiving, like you just naturally come to forgiveness, to your natural essence.
And it's bringing people into presence.
Yes.
And a very beautiful, soft, balanced way.
Yes, and if there is something unforgiven, for example, it's a very gentle way of bringing it up, but it will come up naturally and organically. And so with a lot of compassion and safety and sacredness, then it comes up and out, because our breath is designed that way. There isn't anyone that wouldn't tell us at some point in our lives to take a deep breath.
So
it's so healing.
Very healing.
Yeah.
Yes. So it sounds like it's very different than most of the modalities of breath work that's out there. They're looking to have breakthroughs, and they're looking to release the traumas. So this is very different.
Not exactly, because it's happening, but it's done in a more gentle fashion.
Gentle and more subtle. It's not the main focus.
The focus is love. The focus is a return to love. And so in the quickest way possible, but it isn't a spiritual bypass either. So it can be deeply moving and life-changing, transformative, but the whole point is to not stay stuck in any one area and to not escalate and bring up too much too fast for people.
Well, let's segue into your life. How do you live this? What is your life like on a daily basis or year to year as you travel all over the planet? I know you travel extensively.
Yeah, I do.
You go to the islands, and you go to the East Coast and West Coast and different countries.
Europe, yeah.
So as you're traveling in this busy, hectic lifestyle of just traveling and acclimating yourself to the new environments, how do you maintain yourself and live what you are actually sharing with others?
Well, thank you for that question. I like it. That I take a lot of deep breaths, and I practiced meditation, and I walk in nature. I receive a lot of breath work, and in my teaching, it's very healing for me, because I get to sit in the presence of people. My flutes help to center me. So like my business cards say, opening hearts one breath at a time. So in my daily practice, I may practice my flutes, I eat organic foods, I do yoga every day for an hour and a half. And wherever I am in the world, I make sure that I do. And so I would say just a focus of deep love, deep compassion, and presence, and recentering myself with all the many gifts that we have in terms of community, staying in community, traveling the world, playing in festivals. It's really all there.
Is there any moments in time when you are out of balance of that, what you just mentioned, when you find yourself not centered? And at those moments, what has happened at that moment to allow you to get off of your course of being witnessing and being balanced and tapped into the love energy?
Mm-hmm. Well, I would just say briefly is forgetting, and then coming back to compassion and forgiveness of forgetting. If there's an activation on the freeway, I drive a whole lot. So I take a deep breath and I see like, oh, and sometimes I say to myself, oh, you're activated. And so I can smile at myself and see my habit energy, which wants to say, I can't believe there's so much traffic, for example. But always, well, I would just say that one specific incident 2.5 years ago where I fell off 17 stairs, cement stairs, and I broke my hand quite badly. So for me, I have experience that there's so many miracles available to us, and that the benevolent universe gives us another opportunity every single moment to recreate or to see the good.
And what did that experience do, that accident? Because your hands are very important as an artist and as a musician, and now you're not able to use your hands for those months of the healing, and then after that, of the healing. So how did you connect to yourself during that time?
With prayer, with meditation, with breathing, with support, therapies, different therapies. But
So
breathwork is a main one for me, and having access to my breath and to divine grace that's always pouring through, no matter, I would say, seeing the treasure in the tragedy. I do only have 50% use of my left hand. So
because of the accident now.
Yeah, because there's a lot of metal in my hand and it doesn't turn. So for me, I have to constantly face that and work with it, and that's why I'm diligent with my body work and practices. And so it's a constant gratefulness, gratitude for what I do have, that I'm alive, that I made it, and that I can still play. So it shows me you don't have to be perfect, that the love intention behind every note, or appreciating my body as it is. It's not perfect.
So Dana, what I'm hearing in your conversation is so beautiful and so profound, is there is an absence of judgment there, that no matter what is happening to you, the good, the bad, and all of it, that you are not bringing in judgment, and you are not bringing in, you're not a victim of the circumstances of what's going on, that you are in complete consciousness of what you want to happen. So it's not what's happening to you, it's how you are reacting to what is happening to you.
Yes. Yeah, and it's been a journey of embracing what is, and I'm also embracing all my emotions, if the sorrow of the seeming loss, and then returning to love. So I think that's what makes me a better breath worker, a better therapist, a better musician, because I appreciate every single note as a gift, as a treasure. I appreciate that because I've lived through trauma, that and I face it every day in different ways, as my fingers and hands still go numb quite a bit. And so I take a lot of breaths, and I know how to help people, to say, I know what it's like, I'm there with you. I have compassion. You're not alone. I can support you. I know what it's like to embrace what's there, even if it's very painful sometimes. So it's embracing what is.
So in essence, it's very important to point out that you're not editing. We're not suggesting that people edit and only look for the good. It's accepting the bad and accepting the pain and going through all of it equally, but allowing it to wash through you.
My work, or what I came to through my practice in the last 2.5 years, is perseverance. Like, I'm not giving up. Perseverance without attachment. So
without detachment.
Without attachment.
Without attachment.
Perseverance without attachment. So I'm going to show up and do every exercise I can, see every therapist I can, every body worker, every healer, to see what can be done. But I'm not, I need this. It's like I'm perfect as I am in my imperfection.
As it is.
As it is. But I don't label it as good or bad. It just is. So I embrace it. Oh, there's pain appearing, or there's sorrow appearing. Whatever's appearing is perfection, because that's what's on my plate. I'm going to work with it.
Well, let's take that a little bit further and let's examine that. If one was to do that and look at the good and the bad of it, then henceforth they would be in the story of it. And that's where the stories start. Is that true?
I less look at a story than...
Because we don't want the story.
I don't label it good or bad.
Right.
I just say, oh, this is what's here.
Right.
Oh, there's...
But the good and the bad welcomes the stories, and we don't want the stories.
Sometimes a story is important. Sometimes history is important to share. What happened to you? Where are you now? It's like, it's coming back to the moment, because it's the only one there is, right? There's the remembered past or the imagined future. Neither one of those really exist. It's just what we've told ourselves. So it's like I'm more am knowing that the healing is in embracing and feeling the emotion, the purity of the emotion, without attaching the story to it.
Okay.
If that
no
makes
attachment.
Sense. Yeah.
Allow the story to be there, but don't attach yourself
if it's
to the
there,
story.
But just don't believe everything. Don't believe everything that the emotion or the story is trying to tell you. It's just a memory.
And because if you are attached to the story, what could possibly happen? What's the downside and the upside of that?
You get stuck in the past, and then your body says, okay, yes, boss, we have an injury, and you're stuck, and you can't do this, and you can't do that.
Limitations instead of expansions.
And then victim, and then you're going to get upset, and so it doesn't really work. It's like, I believe we're either victims or we're not. This happened, and what's possible now? So it's what I look at as the unlimited possibilities.
What does love mean to you? It's a word that's used a lot, and it's a word that's used, well, very few people understand it, to the depths and to the beauty and the profoundness of that very simple word, love. What is it?
Love to me is our essence. It's who we are. We don't have to try to be that. We are that. And one of my teachers, I called him the no-nonsense Swami, when someone was saying, loving relationship, and he said, all labels are rubbish. He said, it's all rubbish. He said, because if somebody's hungry, you simply feed them. It's simply our essence. We are love.
Who is this teacher?
We called him Swamiji. It was Krishnamurti, but
Krishnamurti,
but this was another a more modern incarnation of that saint. But he was a beautiful man.
So essentially, he said about love is...
We are that. We don't have to try to label that.
We don't have to try to be that. We don't have to seek it. We don't have to go look for it.
We are
it. It is our
we can't find it.
Innate energy.
Yeah.
Our basic innate energy of who we are.
Yeah. That's my experience. And so trying to be loving, maybe for a while, but then until we just are it. But I believe that that's what we're made of. And if we release the clouds in the way and the illusions and the stories of poor me or poor this, then and being real and authentic, like if sometimes we're upset, then embracing that.
And being transparent.
Yeah, and love, it just finds us because it's us, it's what we are.
Well, let's talk about some of your travels. I know that you go to Costa Rica a lot. You go to Harbin Hot Springs, Northern California, Stewart Hot Springs in Mount Shasta, and many other incredible places. You're involved with the raw food community and a lot of devotional people. So you do a lot of devotional music, and you get together in sanghas, and the music is, what are you doing at that time, this devotional music? It's called?
Well, there's kirtan.
Kirtan.
But, yeah, and
Yes.
then, but my instrumental music, like what you heard or what the audience may have heard, is just simply beyond. It's not Sanskrit. It's just notes, and so I like that form also because it's without any. People just feel that music, and kirtan is Sanskrit. It's devotional from the point of it was said to be the first language. And so it has a certain vibration and a frequency, and that comes through. And so I play a lot of festivals when it's a lot of the same people, Bhakti Fest and Prana Fest and Shakti Fest, and I've played in a lot of temples around the world and the Baha'i temple. So it's beyond religion. It's the Sanatana Dharma, which is truth, love, simplicity, and service to mankind. So
And what kind of people are attending these festivals?
I would say people that want to open up, to awaken, to...
What could we call them? In the 60s, we'd call them
Hippies.
hippies, but today we would call them tribal
kind of
people.
tribal, and
Yes.
but there's the tribal, and then there are a lot of yogis that are not necessarily tribal. There are a lot of, I find, grandmothers and grandchildren coming to my breathwork events and the festivals, and so it's really beyond a labeling so much, because I'm seeing that more and more people are drawn to yoga, and more people are drawn to these festivals and to that music, because it's so opens us to...
Yeah, it's heart-centered and it's devotional, and a lot of the music can be repetitive.
Yep.
So it's
It's
sort of
easy.
like allowing your mind to shut down. It's sort of like music, but a mantra. A mantra where you're repeating it over and over in meditation, but this is music of repeating, allowing the mind to empty itself
Yeah.
and the heart center to open.
Well, it allows the singer, if you really sing fully and with reverence and an open heart, it allows the singer to dissolve into the song. And so there is an incredible deep, I would say meditation that happens, but it's through our voice, and so it brings you to great, great joy, ecstatic states. So it's ecstatic music.
For those who want to hear more of your incredibly beautiful music, how can they reach you? Do you have a .com or do you?
Yeah, clarity.org is my website, and then it has speaks about the breath work. You can hear my music as you go on it, and you can order my CDs there if you wish. And I have a lot of different ones: some chanting, some mantra, some flutes. The Awakening Heart is one of my newer ones. And also I have a breathwork site called claritybreathwork.com, and that has a lot of our different trainings, and I have one coming up in Harbin November 8th through 10th, so Sacred Breath and Embodiment.
Dana, we just have a few moments left, and I'd really like to ask you what is very dear to your heart that you'd like to share to the world at large of what is important to you at this moment in time in your life.
I would say the love and the embodiment that my parents had, and my mother particularly, of that quality of love where she gave to everyone unconditionally and left her body awakened. And so I feel her a lot, and she was a great teacher of mine. So that's what I'm embodying, my teachers, I would say, and that's what most are important to me, that teachings lived through me, through my teachers like Bratzo, and where we met, and they're all saying the same thing: love.
Well, it's been a great, beautiful pleasure to see you here and talk with you, and Thank you.
Same
Thank you
here.
very, very much, Dana.
Thanks so much, Victoria. Thanks for your wonderful work in the world
Thank you.
and beauty.